Hello!
We're Denise and Reed.
And we have been traveling on the East Coast for the last couple months.
In our self-converted Ram ProMaster van. We've been doing van life for almost a year, but this stint has been on the East Coast, and particularly, where have we been?
In Florida.
Yeah.
We have spent the last 2 months and some change in Florida. And
escaping the cold.
That's right, we were snowbirds, unexpected.
We wanted to experience Florida and see what it had to offer, and I'd say it didn't disappoint. It was a change of pace. We ended up at a lot of Cracker Barrels, but we also spent a lot of time at the beach and at different parks, and so that was nice as well.
Yeah, it was so unexpected to be down there, but we ended up making a lot of great memories, and we actually left recently, and we made our way a little north towards Atlanta, and it's colder here. So we decided that we wanted to make a video talking about our favorite memories in Florida and relive some of those nice sunny days by the beach. So Reed,
Picture him now.
what is a memory that stands out to you?
One of my favorite things that we did when we were in Florida was driving on the beach, on Daytona Beach. It was like $20 to drive, and you could re-enter once. If you're a resident, I think you can pay like $25 for the year, so definitely worth it. Highly recommend it to anybody who is in the area. There's not a more scenic drive than driving on the beach. It was really cool to be able to bring all of our supplies and everything, our whole home with us. A lot of people sitting next to their vehicle in their chairs, just catching some rays. It's my first time driving on the beach, especially in the van. I was worried about driving in sand. But there, the sand is very compact, so feel free to drive on it with your bus, your van, whatever.
How many times in life do you get to open your back doors and be on your bed and be 20 feet away from the ocean? I mean, it's an unreal experience. It was a great memory. We got to just hang out, and even that same day, Reed caught a tournament that was going on.
Yeah, there was like a little jet ski racing tournament going on, so that was really cool to see. That going on. There's people fishing, a lot of people walking up and down, kind strangers coming up to us and asking us about the van. I got to ride a one wheel for the first time ever, so that was a very, very memorable day.
Definitely.
Experience, highly recommended. Driving on the beach in Florida
is a must.
What were one of your top memories, Denise?
I thought it was so cool that we got to see alligators for the first time. It was the first time I'd ever seen an alligator up close and personal, and we actually ended up going to the Florida Everglades. We were in Shark Alley, and I remember us getting on the trail, and I'm like, we're probably not going to see any alligators.
Like 2 seconds in, we saw one.
See one almost immediately. It's this huge alligator that's tail is actually laying on the pathway.
Yeah, just sunbathing, sleeping, but its eyes
popped open when we passed by, and then we kept walking, and there were a few baby gators.
But they're really cool to look at and to see. People from Florida might take it for granted, but people that aren't from areas where there are alligators, it is a very unique, surreal experience, very exciting and scary at the same time.
Check them out. Go to Everglades State Park. It was a really cool place to go. Now, our third favorite memory from Florida
is an animal that is a lot less scary than an alligator. We saw right whales. We left St. Augustine and we're driving along the coast. We were looking for a park, and we saw people taking photographs and videos from the shore, and so we pulled over real quick and jumped out, and we actually saw the whales while we were driving. We're like, oh my god, that's a whale or something.
Yeah, we saw something splashing in the water, and it made this huge wake around it, and I was like, what is that? What is that? Is that that's a whale?
So we pulled off to the right, jumped out, got our camera, and went over there. Unfortunately, we don't have a proper lens to capture something that far off. It was pretty far from the coast, but you can still see it. From Jacksonville to Cape Canaveral, you can see right whales in the coast, off the coast. And throughout the wintertime, they use Florida as a birthing ground for their calves. And so we actually saw a calf with the whale, and it was very, very cool.
It was cool. Really rare for you to see a right whale because there are actually only 300 females left in the world.
Yeah, they're highly endangered, one of the more endangered whales. Yeah.
And there were also a couple dolphins jumping around and splashing around with the whales.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those
really
experiences that is kind of like, it wasn't something we expected at all. And I think that's the thing about van life, is that sometimes you just kind of have to go with the flow, and it can lead you to experiences and places and things that you never could have imagined.
Yeah.
And it just was one of those days that
Yeah.
was like, it's cemented in my brain forever, because how unexpected was that? That's not something that we would have even...
it was already just a great, beautiful drive going down the coastline on a beautiful day. We're just cruising along the beach for like over an hour, and then all of a sudden, boom, we see this, spectacular sighting that people often don't get to see, and to see, such a beautiful, large animal for the first time. I had never seen a whale before, so it'll always be ingrained in my memory as well.
Yeah. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Another memory that we both really loved was Christmas.
Merry Christmas from Florida!
We ended up leaving Reed's parents' house in Atlanta just before Christmas. And we both were feeling a little down because we weren't going to be able to spend the holidays with family like we had thought we would. And we both decided we wanted to head to the beach. So we drove to a state park that was nearby, and...
Henderson State Park near Destin, Florida, to be exact.
Yeah, and I ended up making us a vegan eggs Benedict. And we hung out there, we called family, we got to talk and FaceTime, our loved ones, and wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Talked to a lot of family.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of family, and then Reed that day bought a wakeboard. It was kind of like a gift.
A little boogie board, yeah.
A gift for yourself.
Yeah,
a little boogie board.
Yeah, I've been wanting to go out and boogie board. Wanted to learn how to surf in Florida. That didn't happen, but I boogie board instead, so we'll take that as a win.
That is a win for sure.
Yes, yeah.
And so it was a brilliantly sunny day, gorgeous, and there was a Sandy Claus there, and we laid out a blanket, and we just spent the day hanging out on the beach, getting in the water. I tried boogie boarding as well, and we just had an amazing day, because it was, like 80? It was a sunny, beautiful day, and...
great weather, great company. We just got to relax and be grateful and just reminisce on our time in the van and our travels thus far, and what we're grateful for, and it was a good, really good day. Yeah.
Well, what I really loved too was that as we were driving, there were so many different lights up, and there was still a holiday spirit, because since I grew up in Colorado, it's really cold, and most of the time it snows. Yeah. And so there's that kind of white Christmas idea of Christmas that I've always had growing up, and so I was like, it's probably not going to be like Christmas at all. It's not going to have the same kind of vibe. And so when I saw those Christmas lights out, and I saw people make the Sandy men outside, and women, and dolphins as reindeer, and then they had Rudolph, like a
Rudolphin.
A Rudolphin.
Yeah.
And then we ended the day.
There was lots of lights. So Christmas Eve? Was it Christmas Eve that we lit the lights, or Christmas?
On Christmas Eve.
There was definitely a festive spirit there.
Yeah, there was. And then we ended the day on the beach, and we watched the sunset. It was a gorgeous sunset, and it was just a great way to end the day.
Which is one of my favorite things about Florida, the sunsets. Being in Colorado for 5 years, you don't get great sunsets because the sun just goes behind the mountains and then it's gone. And yeah, you have some nice sunsets, but you don't get the spectacle of colors that you get.
Hey, I'm a Coloradoan.
You don't get the spectacle of colors that you get in Florida with the reds and the oranges and sometimes the purples and everything else. And it's really, really gorgeous skies in Florida. The East Coast gets good ones. The Panhandle gets really good ones too. Some of the best sunsets we saw were around Christmas time when we were in the Panhandle. It was gorgeous and could not get enough, and seeing them on a camera or a video does not do them justice. As if you needed more reasons to go to the beach than to watch a beautiful sunset with a nice cold sparkling water. or beverage of your choice.
Yes, our final and favorite memory in Florida. Florida Springs.
Florida Springs.
We had such an amazing time adventuring around Florida.
If you don't know, there's almost 900 springs in Florida. Not all of them are very large, but if you look for first magnitude or second magnitude springs, there's dozens all throughout the central part of the state, around Tampa area and Orlando. What are some of the ones that we went to?
We first went to Devil's Den right before New Year's Eve.
Which is cool. It's like a prehistoric cave that you can go diving, snorkeling in, and scuba diving.
Yeah, we actually rented a campsite the night before, and then we brought our own. We have our own goggles, but you can rent goggles there. You can rent.
Yeah, you have to have
fins.
a mat. Yeah, you have to have snorkeling equipment to go into the cave and swim around. They don't let you just go in there with no equipment and go swimming around. But yeah, they have a really nice campground area. It's a privately owned. It's not run by the state or anything. So they have a nice like RV site, regular tent site. They have cabins. It was a really nice facility and really cool
experience.
Yeah, it was really
the springs typically are at a 72-degree temperature year round. And so we went in. It was kind of cold when we went in just because it is the winter. And we went on a day that was probably like in the mid-60s.
Yeah, we went in the afternoon as well when the sun was going down. And so like the cave itself was kind of cold too because of, we're underground. So Devil's Den felt the coldest of any of the springs we went to because you are underground. And just the time of day we went and everything, the water felt pretty cold.
Pro tip, go when it's sunny if you can and on a really warm day. But it is amazing in there. I mean, we saw a little turtle swimming around.
Fish.
There are people who scuba dive there. If you are certified, you can scuba dive, and there are different tunnels in there that you can.
It goes deep down in there. It's just the environment is so cool. Like it's a small area, but when you just going down into a cave and just being underground and being in water, it's a very unique experience that you haven't done before.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely highly recommend Devil's Den. My favorite spring was Kelly Rock Springs because they have a natural lazy river there, so you can walk down to the spring and start at the top of it, and it takes you through like a 5-10 minute float into the swimming area, and if you wanted to keep going you probably could, but I don't know where it takes you. It takes you to like a river, but it was really cool, very natural, not very like some of the springs look like they're very developed and have like water slides and stuff. This wasn't too developed. It was pretty nice and had ample parking, nice bathrooms, all that stuff that you need to feel like you could spend a whole day there.
But the great thing was that the water was crystal clear.
Water is so clear. We saw turtles and birds. And my favorite things about Florida, all the birds, the egrets and the cranes and the ibises. Yeah, I love the birds in Florida. They're really, really cool.
Yeah, there's some amazing wildlife in Florida that I did not expect to see. When we were at this spring, Kelly Rock, we brought our own tubes. If you want to rent a tube, you actually have to rent them outside of the spring. But we brought our own tubes. We carry them in the back of the van everywhere we go in case we have a moment like this.
Yeah. So we can bust them out on a lake or a pond or a river or stream.
And so we went down a couple times, and it just was a great place. We ended up having a charcuterie board there, and we made it fancy, a little bougie, just because it was kind of the right place for that, to bring out a charcuterie board with some grapes, cheeses,
it was
crackers.
A cool place to hang out. Again, going to the springs in the wintertime, if you find a good day in the middle of the week, there's like not a whole lot of people there. So I actually recommend going in the wintertime. If I can imagine the summertime, they're slammed. So Florida Springs, highly recommend them. Kelly Rock, Devil's Den.
We also went to Wikiwa Springs, which is more like
It's by Kelly Rock.
It's by Kelly Rock, and it's kind of like a natural swimming hole. But my favorite of all the springs was Blue Springs. That's not one that you can actually swim in or kayak in.
Not in the wintertime.
In the wintertime.
Yeah.
because that's when the manatees come in. And on the day we got there, they actually said that there were 664 manatees that they had counted on that day, which it was
a record.
unbelievable.
Yeah, there was manatees everywhere.
Which they were gorgeous.
And the water's so clear, you can see them so visible. They're so visible.
Yeah, it was peaceful, and they were just doing their thing, you know, hanging out, and it was a calming place. And manatees were on the endangered species list, and so I think it's really important that they don't allow people to hang out with the manatees when they come in and visit. Manatees have a dwindling food supply, so actually there are definitely things that as humans we can do to like help them and support them. There were many different lookouts that you could go to and see.
I think it's like a quarter mile worth of different like lookout points that you can see them, and also like if you're patient and you just watch them, they're so like majestic and slow, or so they're so graceful, and you get to see them interact with each other. And if you just take your time, you'll see something new happen. Like we were there for a while watching them, and all of a sudden they all just like, you heard a big splash and they all took off in one direction, and it was like, whoa, seeing hundreds of manatees just swimming as fast as they can in one direction. It was definitely a sight to see.
Blue Springs was just a really cool place. We spent most of the day there. We got there early because they say it fills up fast.
Yeah, get to Blue Springs early. They close the gates up once they reach capacity.
Overall, our time in Florida came and went way too fast.
Yeah.
It's something we would definitely do again.
Yeah.
And
Florida has so much to offer, from the wildlife, the beaches, the weather. There's so much to do and see. It's great for van life, and especially in the wintertime.
Yeah, we highly recommend it, and we hope that we have encouraged some of you all to give it a try next winter.
Yeah, if you want a list of our favorite spots, go check out our website, deniseandreed.com. We'll have some resources on there. And
that's right, we have a comprehensive guide with our favorite van life spots in Florida.
Dropping soon.
And we hope that you'll love that. And thanks for joining us and watching this whole video through. We will see you on the next one, and remember, chasing your dreams is not always easy.
But it's so worth it!
We'll see you out there.
Goodbye.